Senator Obama, I saw your commercial about the gas prices. They're really high, like $3.50 to go around the corner. What are you going to do to get them down a little bit at least?
It's a great question. Well, yeah, I got an email from a friend of mine who said, just in case you're not living in the real world being driven around by Secret Service, it just cost me $85 to fill up my tank. Look, gas prices are killing folks. I was in a bar with Bob Casey, great guy. And we were catching a little bit of the Final Four, and we were talking to a guy sitting next to us who was out of work. And he made a point that should be obvious to so many of us, but you sometimes don't think about. He's out of work. He's having to drive around looking for work. And he's saying, it's killing me to try to fill up my gas tank just to get to a interview for a job. You're out of work, and here you are just burning money, filling up the tank. Now, as I said in my commercial, I think we can go after the windfall profits of some of these companies. ExxonMobil made $11 billion last quarter, not last year, last quarter. They have been in Fat City for a long time, and they're not necessarily putting that money into new refinery capacity, which would potentially relieve some of the bottlenecks in our gasoline supply. And so that is something that we have to go after. But I want to be honest with people also, that the only way we are going to deal with this long term is to reduce our consumption of oil. We've got to, unless we bring demand down, prices will not come down, because China, India, countries all around the world, they all want cars too. There are 1 billion folks in China who are looking to get a car, don't have one yet. So the long-term demand for gasoline is going to be higher, and what we're going to have to do is we're going to have to use technology and innovation to reduce our demand. What does that mean? I want to invest $150 billion in green technologies, and that includes biodiesel, that includes alternative fuels. We've been developing ethanol using corn, but that's actually not as efficient as what Brazilians are doing using sugar cane. And we should be looking at things like stalk grass and other refuse products that can produce alternative fuels that can run our automobiles. And we should also be investing in new technologies so that we can replace the internal combustion engine, which has served us very well, but it's time for us to move on because we're running out of fossil fuels. And so experiments in electric cars and hybrids and plug-in hybrids, all that has to be encouraged. The private marketplace is doing some of that research and development, but you've got to have a president who is willing to lead on this issue. Now, I recognize that that's not going to provide people immediate relief. That's part of the reason why a long time ago I proposed a middle-class tax cut. If you're making $75,000 a year or less, I want to offset some of your payroll tax up to $1,000 per family per year, and that will at least help offset some of the increase in gas prices that people are feeling, even as we are adapting these new technologies that will cut demand over the long term. All right? So we got to use short-term approaches and long-term approaches. And I am confident that we can do it, though. When John F. Kennedy said we were going to the moon, the engineers, all those guys with the pocket protectors and the glasses, NASA with the little thin ties, you remember, they all pulled out their slide rules, and they said, how are we going to do that? They didn't know how it was going to get done. But once we set a clear goal, and Americans all buyed into that goal, then nothing could stop us. The same is true on energy. We can get this done. If we increase fuel efficiency standards on cars to 40 miles per gallon, we would save the equivalent of all the oil we import from the Persian Gulf. And imagine what that would do to gas prices if we reduced our consumption by that much. That's something we can accomplish right here and right now.